Do your duty. The fruits of action belong to me, not to you.
So when the kids are sitting there watching it over and over again, they are forced to be creative. They are living that scene. And sometimes they come with their own input. But I didn't say anything because I was very happy to see the enthusiasm. So he came back and he wrote the script that he wrote exactly in the same format that I wrote. Scene number. And this year he came to me and he said he only wants to do one role. If you see Jatayu, that is him. But he wants to be the assistant director.
So, based on the scriptures that we have read so far, what is one scripture or story that you think that you want to make it, but you have still not made it yet?
Mahabharata has so many characters, so many stories, so many pieces, and most of all, I don't think I can ever reach there. Okay, Gita. It's too big for me, and I just feel like my brain is too orthodox to decipher Mahabharata. I feel like we have been so oppressed by so many generations. You know, Karthik, I will give you a very cool exercise, and maybe most of your audience who are actually watching this, and you will exactly know what I mean. Go and read Valmiki Ramayana, only the part where you see Sita Haran happening. Read that part from Valmiki, not Tulsi.
Okay.
Tulsi was written after the Mughal, like during the Mughal era. At that time, we had already been oppressed and we had been part of patriarchal society for almost, I think, 700, 800 years, right? Because before that, they had Khilji, and before that, there was this Iltutmish and like prior generation, like prior invaders from the northern part, right?
Yeah, northern part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Persia. Yeah.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so go and read that part. And when you read it, first read it and then read the English translation. And then reread it and reread the English translation. The third time when you read the Sanskrit part, you will मैं क्या कह रही हूँ, you will immediately understand. Our brains are very orthodox. And for me to be able to present Mahabharata, I need to become very open-minded, which I don't. The first step is so critical, right? Like Yudhishthir, when he didn't attend the second class, his guru went to ask him, Ki, why are you not in the class? And he said, you said you must always speak truth. I'm practicing to always speak truth. And he doesn't reach the second class. I think I'm Yudhishthir in that aspect that I am not able to open my mind. How can I present Mahabharata? So it's very hard to reach there.
No, I think you are, even with the Ram Leela, I could see that, like, say, but I think you would do a brilliant Mahabharata as well, but Mahabharata is a very tough nut to crack, according to me. Like, you have thousands of characters, thousands of subplots. The number of characters that you might need, I think you might need like half of Toronto, probably. I don't know. Uh,
We did
uh,
a small play for mythology shorts. One was the samvad between Karn and Kunti. It was called Putra Ka Prashna. The play was called Putra Ka Prashna. Again, I will say it was not this play was a creative adaptation, but again, everything said there was a fact. However, not every single word was said by the character that we utilized there, right? Some words were said by the character in some other places, not in that specific scene. So we just got two scenes. One was when Kunti meets Karn, and one was when Duryodhan meets his mother when she turns his body to Vajra.
what?
That's
Yeah.
yeah. So it was two sons asking two questions, right? Putra ka prashna. But my God, that play, just two scenes. Imagine, I just picked up two very simple scenes and I couldn't, I just compressed it and still it was 26 minutes long. So how can I show the entire Mahabharata? It is very difficult.
Definitely. And another interesting aspect in your dramas is your efficient handling of kids.
Yeah.
I know you're a mom of two, but to me, it felt like I always feel that the director is the father or mother, let me put it, the parent of the entire unit, right? So in your Ram Leela, I literally, like every kid over there were fantastic. But
Yeah.
what I saw in them as well was that these characters are very complex, but they were doing it from their heart. They were just not saying the dialogues. How do you think that you were able to achieve that, or what is the secret behind it? Like, because handling kids is not easy.
Actually, on the contrary, working with adult actors is very hard. Working with child actors is very easy because children have this very basic rule. Teacher जो बोल रही है सही बोल रही है. If the teacher has said it, it's the final word. So when I'm practicing with them, even if somebody else or co-actors will tell them do this or that, they will just say no. Miss Somya said to enter from here, I will only enter from here. So it's very easy that they will not adjust anything. With a story like Ramayana, even a smallest mistake can turn the entire story into a different aspect, right? So it's very critical that everybody follows everything exactly. And when I'm working with kids, actually, I just enjoy when kids yell, scream, play around, and they just keep zoom, 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 zoom going around me, right? And then they are the kindest. They have the kindest heart and soul, right? They will come and ask all these questions that sometimes I walk away in absolute shock. Why did I not think of it? Like one day I asked a kid who was playing Lakshman last year. He was 13 years old last year, by the way. And he played Lakshman parallel to a 33-year-old man. Okay? And not a single person in the audience could have told that this was a 13-year-old boy. Matching the spirit of a 27-year-old Meghnath, matching the spirit of a 30-plus Raman, right? So and I was the Sita at that time. So I was like almost his mom's age, right? Although that worked well for us because Sita ji ko to wo वैसे भी माँ की तरह ही देखते हैं. But the first time I asked him, I said, who is Lakshman to Ram? And he said he's Ram's servant with absolute sincerity. And this was after him being part of my Ramlila for 2 years. So I walked out in complete shock. I was like, oh my God, if I can't explain to my own children who is Lakshman to Ram, how am I even conveying the message to the audience? So that is like the first slap on your face that, hey, your messaging has failed to, communicate the proper message. I have to reiterate. So then I had to go back, sit with the actor, and the children are amazing. We do Zoom calls, we do team calls. They will book my calendar based on my availability. They will message me, Auntie, can we call you? They will understand the character. They will understand the scene. Like the boy who plays Bharat. This year he's not playing Bharat because he's in grade 11 now. But he played Bharat for 2 or 3 years, and he played Shravan Kumar. And he would always sit and talk to me because every year he was such a good actor. So I would keep increasing his scenes, right? Every year. I added the scene between Kaikai and Bharat. And in Tulsi Ramayana, Bharat is trying to commit a suicide. Okay. Now, if I'm acting that scene and I'm doing that scene with a 14, 15-year-old kid, I also want to be mindful as a director of what content I'm presenting to my actor because I don't want him to get into that character too much as well, right? Because this is not an idea I want to plant in anybody's mind. And not just my actor, also the kid sitting in the audience. So I have to sometimes work with them, talk to them, explain them the situation to them, and present the story in a different format. But I think I always walk away learning more from them because they come up with all these questions that basically shake my idea कि मुझे सब पता है, मैंने बहुत अच्छे से किया है. They will give me a full-blown reality check of where I'm failing. But the kids are amazing. And the best part, Karthik, I think is, and I always encourage everybody, look, with kids, I agree that the production may not be professional and perfect. Okay. But when I see these kids off the screens, for 6 hours every Sunday, 4 months, these kids are off screens and they're forced to do it. And they will first few rehearsals is almost like dealing with addicts because these kids are addicted to devices, right? So first few weeks is basically them trying to steal and me trying to put everything in a bag. And then me thinking of what activities I can give for them. And then they discovered that friendship is also without cell phones, without devices, right? So it is absolutely amazing to see these kids and when they are there in that moment and when they're acting, sometimes I learn techniques. Like, for example, one kid, he walked up to me, and this is after last year's Ramlila was done. And he came to me. He was, I think, 14 years old, and he said, Soumya auntie, why don't we have, and this is after we included VFX Meghnad scene, auntie, why don't we have body doubles who will die on the both side? I was like, with the same clothes. It's like, oh my God, this was such a good idea. Why did I not think of it? Such a good idea. So when the kids are sitting there watching it over and over again, they are forced to be creative. They are living that scene. And sometimes they come with their own input. Even if the production is not perfect, include the kids. Because when you think it's too hard, I'm telling you it's not. It is your perspective, and in your mind you think it's hard. Kids are very disciplined. You just have to apply certain techniques with them. And the best technique is always invite the grandparents.
Yep.
You have to do nothing. The grandparents will take care of all the kids, and the grandparents who come with knee and joint pains will most likely by the end of the Ramlila rehearsals will be active running and would have lost 7 kgs of weight. So it's everything in one place.
Okay. If I have to lose, I think I have to lose some weight. So definitely I'm coming to volunteer for one of
Lovely.
your Ramleelas.
Mm.
Swami, I think kids always have like brilliance in them. Their questions, if
Yeah.
understood in the right way,
Mm.
right, will give us like tons of opportunities to explore. Like it will change our own perspective of certain things, right? As
Definitely. And then I think the best part is that the kids are off devices. Kids are made to think. Like my son last time after we did mythology shorts, he came back and he was narrating a story to me 2, 3 times. I didn't have the opportunity to do it. So one day I was driving back and he was with me in the car alone, both of us. And he narrated a story to me. So I thought, let me just make him practice writing because he was in grade 2, right? So I said, okay, you know what, Peter, you should get and put this on paper right away. And before this, I had handed out scripts and he was playing a role as well. Bal Hanuman, he was the lead. So he said, you gave everybody scripts, you didn't give me a script. So then I printed a script and I gave it to him and he highlighted and marked and flagged it and would take his script for each rehearsal, okay? Which I thought was a bit of too much, but I didn't say anything because I was very happy to see the enthusiasm. So he came back and he wrote the script that he wrote exactly in the same format that I wrote. Scene number, list of characters, list of actors, dialogue, this dialogue, commas, everything, like everything, the way he saw the script written. So that is when I realized that more than theoretical and pushy information, it's easy if the kids can learn by practice, like practical example, right? So I think that is what motivates me to work with kids mostly, is because I see that there is a positive improvement. They learn so many things in one place, right? Not just our history, not just our culture, public speaking. They get over the lack of fear. Oftentimes parents bring these kids who don't want to join, and this happened, I think 2 days ago. I met someone, this was for Ganga Aarti. I met someone, 2 daughters, and the daughter must have asked her mom, or I don't know if the mom just said it, my daughter wants to participate. She kept asking me to ask you, and then suddenly the daughter was, when? I never asked you that. So then the younger one, of course, because Didi wanted to go, so the younger one also said, I want to go. She said, it's okay. The younger one can come, but I think she's too small. The older one will have to accompany her. So maybe you can come and watch over your sister. After 3 minutes of the conversation, she goes, can I just watch from far away? And if I like it, can I join? I said, absolutely. It has to be both ways, right? And then her mom goes, she has to select it. I was like, no, it's a both. If I select her and she doesn't like it, she's going to do a bad job. So it has to be both ways. And suddenly the kid is like, okay, I will come. So you can't push them very quickly. You can't leave them to lose. You have to find just enough string pulled so that they stay with you.
That's a very good tip, Somyaji. I think even the parents would love it, right? Like say, um, yeah, I think this is a beautiful, beautiful topic that I think people who handle children and like especially when it comes to sensitive topics like say Ramayana, Mahabharatha, I think kids are flooded with questions. But what I saw with my friends' kids actually enjoying the show, he was sitting there in the front row. When he
Yeah.
saw that other kids were enjoying, he came there, right, sat right next to the stage. He absolutely loved Kumbhakarna and Ravan,
Yeah.
or it motivates the other children to come on stage and perform. And just going on that same, is there one memorable moment from your play that you would like to kind of say, oh, this happened, Karthik, I can never forget?
There are many moments, but there is this one special kid that is now part of my Ramlila for more than I think 4 years. And I remember performing the Ramlila in Vishnu Mandir. Not a lot of people attended it. It was like after doing a Ramlila Hindu Sabha, which is attended by like 75,000 people, we went to Vishnu Mandir, where like I don't think even 400 people were watching it, okay? But there was this one kid that got just like, I don't think he even blinked his eye, okay? And then I got off the stage and he was standing quietly in a corner and he kept staring at me. Kid didn't move, he didn't come up to me, he didn't ask me any questions, nothing. Okay. So I was just very amazed by his patience. And then I walked up to him and I said, hi, आप सीता जी है ना? I said, हाँ मैं सीता जी हूँ, आप कौन है? मैं आपको नहीं जानती पर आप अपना नाम बताइए. So he told his name. And then his mom was like, he loved it. I'm just so impressed that he was very young. I think he was 4 years old. I'm just so impressed that इसको इतना मजा आया. तो आई सेड कि आप इनको बुक्स भी पढ़ाइए. तो उसकी मम्मी ने बताया कि हम पढ़ाते हैं, बट इसने लाइव देख के, इसका रिएक्शन देख के वी आर वेरी इन कंप्लीट शॉक कि इतना ज्यादा इंट्रीग से कैसे कोई बच्चा देख सकता है. I was like, yeah, and we had a conversation. And then after a lot of picture clicking, I went to the washroom. And I came out of the stall, and then I see a kid washing the hand, and then he looks at me and he smiles. "आप सीता जी है ना?" तो I go, मैं सीता जी हूँ. So, and I got out of the washroom, and I think the kid told his mom, take her number. So she came after me, she took my number, and she went. And I promised her that I will message her the next day when we do the Ram Leela to include her kid, but I forgot. I always keep telling people, guys, follow me because I'm very forgetful. Just whenever I put a status update, DM me. I'm not ignoring anyone, I'm just very forgetful like that. And exactly that happened. I forgot. But that kid remembered कि मैंने क्या बताया था उसकी मम्मी को कि when do we do the rehearsals? He told his mom, auntie said that she will begin her rehearsals in this month. Can you now message her? And his mom messaged somebody and she messaged somebody else. And then she finally found my number. She messaged me. She joined the rehearsals. And that kid is still one of the best kids. And this year he came to me and he said he only wants to do one role. If you see Jatayu, that is him. But he wants to be the assistant director. So
That's fantastic.
that is, I think, going to be my forever. And I keep telling him all the time, like, my son is really wanting to do the Ramlila in future. But मेरा अगर कोई रामलीला उत्तराधिकारी है तो that is him. Because that kid is like, he looks at every scene with so much like dhyan, and he will draw it, and then he will come back and sit down and give me notes ki auntie ye entry galat thi wo and this kid is only 9 years old. So that
Fantastic.
memory, I think, will always stick with me. That those looking eyes like that. Aap Sita ji hai na?
Somya ji, this is the best impact that you can ever give to any person. I can really relate with you when you said that impact on that kid, and I also love the fact you mentioned that it's not, it need not be within your family, right? The Uttaradhikari is actually that kid, right? I
Yeah.
also love that way that you put it, so that it breaks the norms of, like, say, I am a director or I am the chief minister, my son becomes the chief minister next.
We get this message from Ramayan, and I always say this to people. People often think that legacy is only extended by your blood. But who was Sita ji? कितने जनक हुए? कितने जनक हुए? Like, there were so many Janaks before Sirat Dhwaj, so many Janaks after Sirat Dhwaj. But today the history knows only one Sirat Dhwaj, who was Sita's father, a girl and a non-biological daughter. Two things, right? But why was she known? Because Janak had one thing to give her, and that was knowledge. And a daughter will never, ever give up knowledge given by a father till the last dying day. So the biggest thing, and my brother always keeps saying this to me, कि अरे तुम्हें मेरे, the time my brother grew up, he grew up in a lot of riches. The time I grew up, we were very basic, right? So he always says, अच्छा तुम्हें ये नहीं मिला था, मैं तुम्हें घुमाने ले जाता हूँ. He just feels a little bit कि दीदी को यहाँ नहीं ले गए. So he takes me everywhere every single time. And I keep telling him, I was like, भरत तुम्हें जो मिला है और मुझे जो मिला उसमें बहुत फर्क है. मुझे पापा ने सबसे क्रिटिकल चीज दी है, ज्ञान, जो तुम्हें भी मिला है. बट जो यूथ में उनका ज्ञान था, जो एनर्जी, जो स्पिरिट थी, इट्स ऑल डम्ड इन माई हेड एंड इट कैन नेवर गो अवे, इट कैन नॉट बी टेकन फ्रॉम मी, राइट? सो आई थिंक रामायण ऑल्सो टीचेस अस दिस वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज कि लेगेसी और लिनिएज सिर्फ खून से नहीं बनती है, ज्ञान से बनती है, और आप उस पौधे को किस मिट्टी में लगा रहे हैं उससे बनती है. So the mitti has to be proper, the planting has to be proper, and there has to be absolute love.
I
So
absolutely agree with it. When I talk to you, I think history is something that I will keep getting reminded of. And another character that I think you should read sometime is by the name Velu Nachiyar. She
I read
actually,
about her, of course. We have
yeah,
done play on her also.
yeah. So if you look at Velu Nachiyar's history, she didn't actually pass on the baton to her biological child.
Yeah,
She
I
actually
talked.
found Mardu brothers, and she thought that they are the people who are fit to lead her empire against the British rule,
Yes.
and not my own biological kid or their spouse.
Raman for sure. 100%. There is no two ways about it. I think
Mm.
Raman and Karn, two characters who would be trending on social media. I think they already trend. I think from Ramayana, the message of living with each other, loving each other, and forgiving each other. That is a message that you should take from Ramayana. Guru is not just one person. Guru will be many people. It can be your mother, it can be your teacher, it can be your friend, it can be somebody you consider as a mentor or a guru. But guru की बहुत जरूरत होती है